What's cracking, everybody? Hello and welcome back to Gaming 101 with Mr. Berger. You're back with me and my pet Kenyan Sandboa Two Fangs. You're going the wrong way. You're supposed to say hi to the camera.
She's shy.
Of course, my beautiful girlfriend again, Clarissa, over here. And so tonight we're going to be taking a look at the balance changes that are coming in about 5 days from this recording. Depends on how long it'll take me to get this video out from when you guys see it. And we're also going to take a look at some things that were answered and recorded on the Clash Royale Discord, and kind of have a little discussion about that and my opinions and my thoughts and what I think. Maybe Clarissa will lend an opinion in there too, right?
Maybe.
Yeah, okay, cool. So first things first, let's take a look at the official Clash Royale balance changes video that they always release onto YouTube and Twitter and Instagram and all that good stuff when they're about to come out with these new balance changes. Alright, so coming 620. First thing, clone and I believe heal. Their radius is going up by 1. So what that means is they're going to have a slightly wider area of effect. We'll go into more detail about each of these later. Minions and Minion Horde, 0.15 second increase in the spawn time between each of the minions. So they spawn out a little bit slower. The Barbarian barrel is given a 17% increase in damage. That's pretty significant. Now the Prince is getting a plus 1 second increase in the amount of time that it takes for him to charge up. Now this is also going for the Dark Prince, and the Battle Ram is going down by half a second. The reason for that is they're trying to standardize all of the charge effects and the jump. Alright guys, so now we're going to take a look at the official post on Reddit by Supercell, by the Clash Royale team, about basically the details of the changes that they made, how they're going to kind of interact and change the meta a little bit, and some of the reasoning and thoughts behind them. So first of all, we got the clone and the heal. So what they wanted to do here basically is make it a little bit easier to execute, give it not a huge buff in its effect, but just make it a little bit, more like reliable in a sense, because it's just giving an area of effect increase. The clone and the heal effect themselves aren't getting buffed. You're not getting more clones or stronger clones or healing more or anything. It's just a bigger circle now. Now, the Minion Hordes. So what they're doing here, this is really interesting. It's a 0.15 second deploy time increase for minions and Minion Hordes. So if you notice, there's actually a really slight time in between the spawning of each minion when you put down a Minion Horde. What they're doing is they're increasing that. And they've got some reasonings for it. They think that it'll actually make it like their attack look and feel more natural. Well, that's interesting. I'm not sure exactly what they mean by that, but that'll be cool to kind of check it out. Now this one is really significant. I really like this. The Barbarian barrel, or the Barb barrel, landed very softly. I feel like needed a buff, and I think they actually buffed it already. Yeah, they did buff it already once, and so they definitely needed to buff it again. I'm glad that they did this. So what they're doing is they're giving it a pretty solid damage increase, and they're making the Barbarian where he spawns, they're making that location like visible and obvious. So you'll be able to see like where exactly is that barb gonna be, because right now it's kind of, you can kind of tell, but it's not very clear. So they're gonna give us a little kind of ghost icon there, and that'll kind of show us where exactly that Barbarian's gonna land. What do you think of that? Yeah, she's lending her opinion. She's whispering right now. She likes that barb barrel buff. She thinks it was needed too. She's a fan of the Barbarians, as you can imagine. Alright guys, so another really interesting thing though is that it's given a 17% increase in damage. The major interaction change is that's going to allow it to one-shot archers. So archers can now die to Barbarian barrel, whereas they don't die to log, which is always the go-to kind of comparison spell or card for the Barbarian barrel. Alright, so this whole thing here, what is this mess? Well, basically what it's saying is they're standardizing like all charge and jump effects. So the Bandit, the Mega Knight, the Battle Ram, the Prince, and the Dark Prince, they're all going to a 3.5 second charge time. The Bandit, that's already what she was at, so they're standardizing everything else to where she was at. So the Battle Ram goes a little bit quicker, that's why it's a buff. So instead of 4 seconds, it's only 3.5 now. And I think it actually used to be 3. They did nerf the Battle Ram charge time a while ago. The Prince and the Dark Prince, however, are getting nerfed, and I think that that's necessary because I feel like the Dark Prince nerf was really kind of weak, right? So I'm glad that they're doing that. And the Prince has been really strong for a long time now. So unfortunately for you, they're nerfing him.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, she uses Prince all the time in her ladder deck because it's like one of the highest level epic cards, probably the highest level epic card that you have now, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
At least I have the E-Barbs, but still, it's kind of bad.
Yeah, but those are commons. I mean, epic cards, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So she uses that in her deck, and it's been really strong and reliable. So it's unfortunate, but that's all right. I think that it needed it. So let's see what they say here. Is there any reasoning for it? But yeah, basically they said that it was like an unneeded complexity. I like how they put that. They're just like, why? Why make it all different? Just have them all at the same charge time so that it's easier to recognize and understand. Now the Rascals, they mention the Rascals. This is really cool. They mention the Rascals and they say no changes yet because they know people are like, why haven't you nerfed the dang Rascals? Because they're so strong, they're so powerful, and they're so good in that stupid Mortar Bait deck and all of those annoying Rascals decks. But I think what they're doing right now is basically they're saying like, guys, you're still figuring them out. The meta is still adapting to their presence. That's a fancy way of saying you just don't know how to counter them yet. So they're saying like, okay, wait until people have figured Rascals out a little bit more, you see them more and more, and people kind of understand their utility and how to play them and how to use them and how to counter them, and they find their way into certain decks and certain niche archetypes, and they find their way in and out of the meta, and then they'll balance them out a little bit. Because maybe they're just really strong right now because they're kind of underutilized, and not a lot of people know how to play them except the really good players. And I feel like that was kind of the case for things like the Cannon Cart and the Flying Machine. Like, people thought that they were really bad, but you would see a lot of really good players using them at high-end arena, really high trophy count. Alright guys, lastly here, a few other things that we're going to look at. The mirror. It'll no longer appear in opening hand. That's really cool. It's a really like small little interesting little tweak. I'm glad that they're doing that. I think that it's going to be a bigger kind of solution or buff than it appears to be. It sounds really small, but I think it's a pretty solid thing. Because there's no point in having a mirror as a first card because you can't possibly play it. So basically, you're wasting a spot. You've only got 3 cards available instead of 4 if you have that mirror in your starting hand. So that's a really cool buff. Maybe some people liked it because they might like having a mirror ready for whatever card they want to mirror right off the bat. But I think overall, I think it'll be like a pretty interesting little tweak that'll turn out to be a pretty solid buff. Now the Magic Archer, it's just a bug fix. He's less likely to wake up the king, which is pretty solid because that's so annoying if you've ever played with him and you accidentally wake up the opponent's king. Buildings bug fix, they'll no longer occasionally stop shooting at the edge of their range. Yeah, that's probably just a minor bug fix. There's all these kind of little bugs throughout that people report here and there, so I'm sure that the Supercell team, I do not doubt that they do a good job of kind of checking into them and, making sure that they get fixed when they can. Okay guys, the next thing that we're going to do here is, this is a Reddit post, and Clash with Ash actually did a look at this post and kind of went through it a day or two ago before the balance changes were officially released. And I thought, that was really cool how he went through it. This guy did an awesome job of summarizing everything that was posted in the Clash Royale Discord a day or two before the balance changes came out. So shout out to Trapper1000 for doing that on Reddit. And I really like the Clash Royale forum, I guess. I mean, I understand it's really bad right now, like it's really toxic and there's a lot of negativity going around and everything, but it's cool when people do stuff like this or like shared deck strategies and stuff like that. So this is a really positive thing that came out of the Clash Royale Reddit. So let's go ahead and go through. He made about 20 points. I'm just going to kind of skim through them and lend my thoughts on each of them and, discuss it a little bit. So, updates coming soon. There's going to be new cards. There's going to be a new win condition card. No epic or legendary cards this time around, and some quality of life changes. Well, we saw what some of the updates are going to be. We saw the balance changes. I think there's also going to be another larger update coming either the same time or shortly after. They've been tweeting out pictures of the hog, this pig, and the piggy snout, and they did one with the pig snout and the snowflake icon, so maybe it's some sort of an ice hog or something like that. So new win condition card. Wait, is that going to be too much?
Sounds funny.
Yeah, it does sound funny. Frozen hog, right?
But a lot of it's funny.
Well, you got to freeze your bacon to keep it good, right? You can't cook it unless you're going to cook it all at once.
You don't freeze your bacon.
I do if I have a lot of it. Yeah. If I get those big Costco packs of turkey bacon, then I'll freeze it if I've got enough. But usually I only get 1 or 2 packs at a time because they don't usually have it anymore.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you guys haven't figured it out, I love turkey bacon. Alright, Royal Giant buff is still in the line. Now don't freak out before you, say Royal Giant buff and think that he needs a nerf. Because honestly, he does need a buff at tournament standard level. I think that he just needs to be scaled differently. It's just the fact that he's a win condition and is a common card, he's really easy to overlevel. And that's the same case with the E-Barbs. So I think at tournament standard level, he definitely is deserving of a buff. No plans on adding more deck slots or chest slots. No spell reworks for now. Undecided on what's the best approach for hero cards, since they're a big thing and they don't want to rush it. So hero cards have been kind of in the works for a long time. There's been all this cool little speculation of like, oh, they've got the Archer Queen skin or the Barbarian King, and they've got the little icons for the abilities. But I think that it's like such a major interaction to add a whole new... Who knows what is it going to be? Is it going to be a spell? Is it going to be something that just sits in the arena? Is it going to be a new like category, a new rarity of cards? Is it going to be common, rare, epic, legendary, hero? Who knows? So I think that they're still working that out. So no rush on that. Definitely what they said. They don't want to rush it. I agree. Clan Wars will happen a little bit. Clan War improvements. Some minor things. They're going to add more gold to the economy. They did this already by giving us this awesome sudden death challenge. Or excuse me, it's the ramp up, double elixir, and then triple elixir challenge. There's some serious gold on the line. Like 275,000 gold if you get all the wins. So check that out. I'm glad that they're doing that because, as they said, there's a gold shortage issue that Clan Wars has exacerbated. The reason for that is because a lot of people are having to level up more and more cards to get them up to the point where they can actually use them in Clan Wars and participate and do well. So rather than having to invest the little gold that they have already into the one deck that they want to play, then they're going to have to go ahead and spend more and more gold on cards that they don't necessarily want to use. But it's like, well, I've got nothing else, so I've got to use my giant because I don't have any other win conditions in the Clan Wars or whatever. Alright, so no new arena, no new loading screen. Mortar nerf would be the RG buff. I like that. They've been thinking of making Clan Wars chest a draft chest. I like that too. As Clash with Ash said, make every chest in the game a draft chest. I agree. Maybe not the really little baby ones, but at least like magical chests or giant chests and above or something like that. Lava Golem isn't a thing yet, quote unquote thing. It's just a concept right now. They keep teasing the chat with the pig emote, however. That's what I was talking about earlier. I think they're going to do some sort of a hog. Maybe a mass hog or a big hog or a mega hog or an elite hog. What are the words they like? They like elite, they like electro, they like ice, and they like mega. So maybe it'll be a mega hog, or a hog horde, or a hog army, or an icy frozen hog of death and bacon. Alright, no plans to add skins as of yet, but they'd probably do it for hero cards. Honestly, why not, dude? They really should add skins. Like, that's something that's so easy for them to rake in a lot of money with. And I feel like it wouldn't be that hard to just add some really minor things, like as simple as like changing slight coloration patterns. I mean, was it really that hard to put those cool, football helmets on the E-Barbs in the touchdown challenge? It couldn't have been that hard if they did it. I feel like they should really look into doing that, and that would potentially get them some more money and would make a lot of people happy, because I've read and heard about a lot of people requesting for that for a long time. Alright, the June update is going to be a medium one. They're going to be opening a new position for another Clash Royale Community Manager. That's what that stands for. In August. So Tim is the only community manager at the moment. He likes the Ice Spirit because he's too damn cute and useful. I agree.
Cute.
Yeah, he is cute.
Probably the cutest one.
Yeah, and he's definitely very useful. I agree with this. At 1 elixir, being able to chip away at a Minion Horde like that, he's just, oh man, he just has so many roles that he fulfills. He does really good. Dislikes Bomb Tower the most, so this is coming from Tim. I agree, they need to buff it. I like Bomb Tower, but I think it needs a buff. And he doesn't speak Finnish, and this is relevant because they're in Helsinki, I believe, is where their headquarters is, right? He doesn't want to be the mod in the Sarah Discord server, so this is just stuff about Tim. We don't need to read too much about that. Alright, Lava Hound buff, they're currently considering as a Lava Pup buff. I agree with this. Magic Archer buff is not on the line and not in queue. I think that Magic Archer does need a buff. That's unfortunate. I wish that they would buff him. So that, I don't know. I like him. He's really cool. Like, he has a really cool ability and effect and utility, but he's just not quite up to par. They need to give him a slight damage increase or something. They liked Clash with Ash's video in Clash Royale's future. I agree. I really like that video. You guys should check it out if you haven't already. Optional ads in the game are currently not on the table because they want to see how it works out for Brawl Stars first. So if you don't know what that is, it's basically you tap a little button, you watch an ad for like 15 or 30 seconds, and you get a slight reward, like 5 gems in Clash Royale or whatever. And a lot of games do this, and it works out really well because it allows them to make money because it imports ads into the game, and it allows you to get some little free thing in the game that makes it a little bit easier. And Clash with Ash recommended that they do that as like a entry ticket to a grand challenge, like once a day or once a week or something like that. And I thought that was really cool. So let's see how it works out in Brawl Stars. Maybe they'll implement it. I don't like having to sit there and watch a video, but what you can do is just tap the little button, put your phone down or whatever, and ignore it. And it's another way. I'm not going to complain about an option to get free gems or free challenge entries. Like, that would be awesome to get free grand challenge entries. I would love that. Alright, what's next? Royal Giant gets buffed. E-Barbs could get buffed too. No plans at the moment. Anything's possible. Agreed. Here's what I think, guys, on Royal Giants and E-Barbs. Right here. Just make them scale differently. I think this is a pretty solid way to answer a lot of the inconsistent cards. Cards that are used at certain trophy counts, but are seen very low at other trophy counts. For example, the Bomber and the Bomb Tower being, basically unseen in middle trophy count. You see the Bomber occasionally at the very low trophy counts, and the Bomb Tower too, and then you see the Bomber occasionally at very high trophy count as well. But other than that, you almost never see them. So Royal Giant and E-Barbs, you never see them in tournament standard level unless you're going up against somebody that, is either messing around or is really good and is trying to pull it off, or doesn't know better and doesn't know what they're doing. So I think that what they need to do is make them weaker at high level so that they're not super OP when they're capped out like that, and then make them stronger at lower levels. So make their scaling go down a little bit, if that makes sense, as you level them up more and more. But that's just like my little, temporary, off the top of my head fix. And I'm sure that there are plenty of problems with that too. If you have any better suggestions, don't hesitate to leave them in the comment section below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say.
You need me to take her?
No. This is awesome. Do you want to take her?
No, it looks like she's agitated again.
Yeah, well, that's okay. She can be agitated.
Maybe it's the changes she's mad about.
Because they haven't taken her out enough? Well, here she is. Alright, let's get back to this here. Okay, we perhaps made some mistakes with how fast clans are able to progress through clan wars and leagues. As a response to free-to-play player progression past silver. They're super aware of the situation, though, and they're making improvements and changes down the line. I agree. Guys, clan wars are brand new, right? So, chill out. Let them figure it out. Give them a few months. I like them as they are. I'm not complaining about those chests. Those chests are awesome when you get them. The 300 gold battle is awesome when you get it. So, they're going to work out those kinks. I have faith that the Clash Royale team will do so. Alright, watch TV Royale on Monday, by the way. TV Royale is the new Radio Royale. We've renamed it. They're also aiming to give the Clash Royale League better coverage, so that's kind of like the major tournaments. It is technically like an esport. Like, they have these major tournaments with this game, and people win, like thousands of dollars or something like that. So it's pretty cool. It's a pretty solid game, and it has that potential to, be very competitive. Alright, the quality of life changes will be quite a few. They're going to have leagues that have their season reset points changed. Thank goodness, that's huge. Nothing related to level caps, but I really like this. The fact that you have to get up, up to, 4,600 or 4,900 just to get your reset each month higher up. Like, you reset down to 4K. So if you're like a 4K, 40, 50, 4,100 player, at the beginning of season you're going up against people who are like 4,700 players. And they have fully maxed multiple decks. And you're sitting there with your, level 11 Goblin Gang getting one shot by Zaps. Or level 11 Minion Horde getting one shot by Zaps. So, anyway, I think that's going to be a really solid change that they're going to be doing there. So I'm really happy for that one there. Gem Rush is coming back. Awesome. I'm not complaining about more gems. They want to add a system where they can switch the Clan Wars modes without the maintenance break. so they can switch them with each new Clan War season, but at the time they can't do that, so they're going to switch them semi-periodically, like in the next update. Thank goodness, because what are they doing with 2v2 touchdown in there? Nobody plays that. I'm sorry guys, it was a cool mode, it was a cool concept. I did have fun playing it from time to time, but it's very unpopular. So I think that it's a good decision by them to switch that out. Alright, they agree on more tournament standard level modes in Wars, and they aren't satisfied with the current state of the game either. That's good to hear. That's going to appease a lot of the naysayers, I think, because a lot of people have been just complaining and whining on Reddit a lot about all these problems. Not only Reddit, but like YouTube comments and everywhere about all these problems with the game and how they're not listening to us, they don't care about us. Well, I think they do. I think that they're just, taking it one step at a time. And this game started off really strong and added all these new cards and mechanics, and things have to be tweaked. You know what I mean? They got to figure it out. So give them some time to kind of figure all of that out. I think that they can revamp the state of the game. I think that Clash of Clans had a pretty solid revamp, and it's still doing really well now. It's been out since 2012, I think, Clash of Clans, and it's now 2018. So that's already a really solid lifespan. It's already 6 years. So, hey, I think that they can do the same with Clash Royale. Alright guys, I had to think for a second, did I do my math wrong? 2012 to 2018? I was going to embarrass myself in my video and say that it was 4 years or something. Alright guys, that's it for tonight's video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you leave it a thumbs up if you liked it. And if you've made it this far, I really appreciate it. Don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section below. I want to hear what you have to say, if you agree with what I said, or if you disagree, or if you have any thoughts on the balance changes, or any of those things that were mentioned. Subscribe if you haven't already by clicking the little burger down there or hitting the subscribe icon that's going to pop up in a few seconds here. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and have a good night.